But in China itself, what happened was quite paradoxical, because although the regime survived and was able to consolidate its power again, it was on a different social basis, really, to what had been the case before.
咁其實中國都係一個幾吊詭嘅嘢咧，就係成日好似有個悖論咁樣，即係當佢哋係可以咧係繼續佢嘅統治，但係佢嘅統治咧喺嗰個時候咧，其實已經改變咗佢哋嗰個統治嘅本質。
The effect of the massacre was shattering in terms of the confidence and the support among the ordinary people for the regime in China. It was a turning point. The regime had popular roots up until that time. But after that, people would not trust the government again.
咁佢話其實喺世界之前咧，呢個中國政府咧可能都仲有啲人咧係支持佢嘅信任佢嘅，但係即係自從呢個屠殺之後呢啲人咧就已經唔係呢回事，就已經唔係再好似以前咁樣支持信任。
And that's because the old Maoist regime was a peculiar regime. Socialists, we would describe it as a Stalinist or Stalinist regime. It rested on nationalized property. There was no private capitalist companies. But it was a dictatorship. It was not socialism, because for socialism you have to have democracy. You have to have ordinary workers and working people democratically participating in the running of the economy. Otherwise it's not socialism.
咁其實無論呢個咁嘅政權咧，其實即係斯大林嘅政權咧，其實佢做咩咧？就係將呢個財產咧係國有化，咁冇私有財產，咁而且亦都係非常之專制獨裁。咁但係呢個唔係社會主義，因為社會主義咧其實係應該民主嘅，其實係應該嗰啲工人啊同埋即係其他嘅民眾咧係可以係民主咁控制嘅社會。
And the Maoist regime did have a popular base of support, because despite being a dictatorship, despite being very repressive, especially in certain periods, that regime also carried out far-reaching reforms. For example, it carried out a land reform already in the 1950s that gave land to the peasants. It introduced basic health care to the majority of the population, things that didn't exist before 1949.
咁其實毛澤東可能喺都有啲有群眾支持佢，因為佢係做咗一啲嘢咧係以前嘅喺1949年之前咧係冇嘅嘢，譬如間講自己土地改革啦，或者係即係呢個對民眾嘅醫療嘅照顧啦，所以佢係可能係有群眾支持嘅事。
And it's a fact that in 1976, the last year of Mao's life, there were 14 times as many nurses in China than there are today. The healthcare provision was more extensive. As many people know, the health service in the rural areas of China has more or less collapsed today. Many people, the majority of the poor people in the countryside, can't afford to see a doctor ever.
其實佢喺1976年嘅毛澤東就嚟瓜嗰一年咧，咁其實佢話即係呢個喺中國嘅醫療嘅使費咧，其實都係好多嘅。咁而家咧反而喺中國咧就有啲喺農村嘅時候咧，嗰啲窮人咧就即係冇呢個醫療嘅照顧。
What happened in the 80s was that there was a power struggle in China with a wing of the ruling bureaucracy, the Communist Party elite, that were increasingly looking to South Korea, to Taiwan, to Singapore, thinking, we'll keep a dictatorship, but we'll go to a capitalist economy. This would be the best way to develop China.
咁喺80年代當然喺中國有權力鬥爭啦，咁其中一個嘅派系咧就認為咧，佢哋就向呢個南韓啊、新加坡同台灣取經啊，咁就冇問題啦，咁就繼續係專制，咁但係咧我哋就會實行呢個資本主義。
And effectively, what happened after 1989, once the threat of any kind of mass movement of opposition was purged from China, because no one would dare go on the streets again after what had taken place on 4th of June, the regime in China, unlike the regimes in Eastern Europe or in the Soviet Union, was able to set about reconstructing the economy along capitalist lines without any opposition.
咁喺1989年咧，當呢個 呢個群眾運動已經係被呢一個消滅咗嘅時候咧，清算咗嘅時候咧，咁喺6·4之後咧，呢、個中共即係中國咧就唔似東歐咁，因為中國咧係已經因為冇人夠膽上街示威驚晒啦，咁佢其實可以咧係直頭咧係似東歐咁咧，直接係即係實行呢個資本主義。
And today, China is an absolutely crucial part of the world capitalist system. And the best example of that is a company which is now infamous around the world. It's the biggest electronics manufacturer in the world. It's like a society, never mind a company, and it's called Foxconn.
咁呢其實中國係而家係即係對成個世界嚟講係最關鍵嘅啦，最關鍵嘅一環。咁其實好簡單啫，就係即係大家都知富士康係咪？咁而家中國即係富士康係即係唔好講話工廠，其實好似一個大社區咁。
And Foxconn is an example of how the capitalist countries and companies from USA, Japan, everywhere use China as a source of cheap labour, but also as a very important source of non-union labour. It's a society where companies can build huge factories and there's no threat that you will be challenged by an organised workforce that will put pressure on the company to raise wages or to improve conditions, because all they have to do is phone to the local office of the Communist Party or the government and they will solve their union problem.
其實富士康係講咩咧？就係話呢個啲資本主義好似美國同日本嘅資本主義一樣咧，就係話即係佢哋咧係可以喺中國咧利用呢個廉價勞工嚟獲利。點解咧？因為咧喺中國咧係唔可以組織工會嘅，咁佢就唔需要咧接受呢一個即係呢個有即係龐大嘅後援嘅工會嘅挑戰啦。咁所以其實最低工資嗰樣嘢咧，其實都唔使俾嘅。咁佢就可以咧係運用呢個中國嘅即係呢個廉價勞工咧係喺全世界都揾唔到嘅，咁咧就可以繼續呢個即係盈利啦。
And Foxconn employs 420,000 workers at its 2 factories in Shenzhen. And they're the factories where 13 young people have tried to commit suicide this year. 10 of them are dead.
咁呢個富士康啊請咗42萬人啦，喺中國，咁就有上進上海啦。咁而家咧，即係大家睇到㗎啦，大家就有30個即係政工人咧係自殺，13 sorry， 13。
And this has forced Foxconn because the global backlash has been so intense, not just on Foxconn, which people don't really know, but probably at least 50% of you are carrying something made by Foxconn in your bag or your pocket right now. But Nokia, Sony, Dell, Apple of course, yeah. These companies we all know, and this backlash has affected them. So they've all been frantically calling each other the last 2-3 weeks and speaking to Foxconn, and they've agreed they have to increase the wages by around 30% now.
咁但係即係富士康梗係會即係受到呢啲咁嘅嘢嘅影響啦，係咪？咁嗱，我諗大家而家有一半人咧都係用緊呢個富士康嘅產品嘅嘢啦，係咪？有冇用呢個Apple 啦？有冇用 Dell 啦？有冇同呢一個Sony 啦？仲有嗰隻叫咩啊？最人性嗰隻叫咩？Nokia 偏人嗰隻叫咩？Nokia，sorry，Nokia，因為我呢啲我真係慢。咁呢4隻嘢大家都有用嘅係咪？咁即係我諗大家有一半人係用呢4隻。咁而家所以就係因為呢件嘢爆咗出嚟啊嘛，咁喂要即係出嚟行之後唔使還咩？咁所以呢幾間個公司咧就同富士康講：喂哥，你真係要做啲嘢先得喎，如果唔係我哋啲嘢賣唔到喎，俾人哋即係咁樣講。咁所以而家富士康咧就要加工資啦，係咪？即係聽講係加咗三成。